This video is property of MBKP International LLC. This is our Stack S12 paper cutter. I'm just going to show you how to change the bearing on this thing. You want to start, I've already loosened some of these to make it quicker, but these are just finger screws. You can do it with your fingers. Take those two top out. And then underneath here, there's two bottom ones, one here and one on the other side. Once you get those out, that's 4 finger screws. This comes out here. You can just reach under here. Be careful with that blade. I don't know, you might want to have your clamp all the way down. But just reach under here and this thing just pulls off real easy. And basically, your bearings behind this washer and these bolts, just move it up about halfway. And then, in this case, it's a 17mm wrench. You just loosen that first one. Those two, when you put it back on, you don't want to put this. You don't want to tighten it too much. The last one will be snug, and then you can snug these two together to keep it tight. But I'll just take that one for now. And the second one, because you tighten it too tight, then this thing won't be able to move up and down. So it's just kind of snug to where this will move up and down fairly nicely, but not too easy, not too hard when you tighten it back up. Okay, that comes up in a washer, and right here is your bearing. And see, that's a bearing that goes on there. Basically, these bearings in here, it goes on this post here, this metal post here. You can see this post and I'll show you what it is on the other side. But when you put a new bearing on, you want to make sure this post is nice and smooth all the way around. If there's any burrs on this post anywhere, if it's rough, and you put this bearing on, it's just going to eat up the new bearing. So you want to make sure that post is nice and smooth before you put a new bearing on it, or else it will just eat up the new bearing. If it's not nice and smooth, then you're basically going to have to take this part off and get a metal grinder on it and grind it nice and smooth before you put it back on. And if you were going to tackle that, you'll need to have the knowledge to take all this stuff apart to do it. So I'm not going to show it in this video. If you can't do something like that, then it's just going to have to be sent back if this post is rough. But basically, that post is this part right here. It's this thing that holds the blade. So you'd have to take it off from that end and this end down here to take this whole big bar out here that holds the blade to fix that post. But basically, that's it. You just put your bearing back on this thing. You have to lift up this back thing a little bit to get it back on there. You want to make sure there's some grease in there. And you'll fill it with some good axle grease or something. And then from there, you put your washer back on. You put your first nut. And you just snug it down probably. And you just feel the tightness, depending on if it's too flimsy, then you want to tighten a little more. If it starts you can even, while you're moving it, you can still turn that. Now it's starting to get a little snug. I might want to back it off just a little bit. And then from there, you put your other nut on. Just second nut. And then you just get 2 wrenches and tighten these together to where they're snug against each other instead of tightening down that way. From there, you just put your cover back on and the screws. This video is property of MBKP International LLC.